Hey, let's go. What's going on, everybody? This is Jon Does, episode 50. I've done 50 episodes of this show so far. This is Jason, about damn time. Sorry, I'm a minute late. Well, hey, welcome. Before we get started, don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. It's the best place to support this channel. I've got links to all my music. There's some music videos there. Those music videos are also on this channel. And yeah, there's just all kinds of cool stuff. I got these tote bags on my store. This is one of them that I have. I thought these were canvas for a while, but it turns out they're actually polyester. But they're really good, really sturdy. That's why I thought they were canvas. But they come with cool handles, and you can choose different colors. There's red, yellow, and black for the handles. Anyways, there's other cool stuff. There's t-shirts and sweatshirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you could make it today too, Jason. I always appreciate it when people are able to make the show. I'm never mad when people can't, because I know everybody's got lives to live, but lives to lives. Let's get it together. Sorry, I've been hanging out with a 5-year-old most of the day. So I guess the first thing to get into before we get into like good stuff is there was really sad news today in regards to directors. Jean-Luc Picard. that was my bad. Jean-Luc Godard, famous director. What do you call it? New wave director. Died at 91. And the interesting thing about this is he, I think, was in, I forget, Switzerland when he died. It was an assisted suicide. He was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. And I think that's an interesting conversation to have, because when I was growing up, there was, Jeffrey Dahmer, or not Jeffrey Dahmer. Sorry, that's completely different. Jack Kevorkian, the Doctor of Death, as they called him. And I remember hearing stories about him, and kind of being villainized. But as I've gotten older, I've come to the realization that I think in certain circumstances, people should be able to make their own decisions about what they want in their life. Now, this is a really tricky territory, because, if you're depressed and you're contemplating suicide, please go speak to somebody. But, if you're 91 years old and you feel like you want out, then it's a decision I think you should be able to make. Also, if I can't make the decision, somebody else should be able to make it for me if they know my wishes. Absolutely. I don't know if you remember, Jason, but when we were younger, like, I think Dr. Kevorkian was one of the bigger the big person that we all heard about that was like killing people. But what I didn't understand when we were younger was like, no, this is assisted. Like, these people have gone out of their way to ask him for help. And I do think that is something that we should keep in mind. I don't know. But regardless of the whole situation, again, if you're depressed and you're like feeling moments of just complete, the whole Kevorkian thing was completely the media's fault. That was, I think, before I knew better at all. So yeah, if you're considering like harming yourself because of depression, I think please just talk to somebody. Talk to friends, family, counselors, things, people that will listen, that will help. So I'm so sorry. I keep wanting to call him Picard. Jean-Luc Godard He was 91, and yeah, he passed away today. And yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen all of his films. I've probably seen very few of his films, to be honest. But he has a lengthy resume of films dating back to 1955. This is the first short listed on his, IMDb. Yeah, there's just so many things that he directed. And in my film classes, we've brought him up a few times for references. 131 director credits is listed here. 131, that's crazy. 98 writing credits, 54 editor credits, 47 acting credits, 29 producing credits, 9 cinematographer credits, 3 additional crew, 1 soundtrack, 25. Yeah, okay. So dude had, a crazy resume in regards to filmmaking. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which ones I have seen. I'm not going to go through the whole list right now, but I think there's only a couple actually. But yeah, so a pioneer new wave filmmaker, Jon Does. I'm very sorry for mispronouncing the name. Has passed away, and it's a loss to the film world, but I do think it's very interesting and important the way that this was handled. And he does want people to know that that it was his wishes to go out in the manner that he did. I believe he even went to Switzerland for this reason. That's my understanding. I might be wrong on that, but anyways, he will be missed, and there's never really going to be a other director like him, So just wanted to let you guys know that that happened. So hopefully his friends and family are doing okay, and our thoughts and prayers are there for them. So I will do my best to segue from that to this article I have that I wanted to read, and it's about Laika Studios. If you're not familiar with Laika, I'm a fan of them for a couple of reasons, but they do stop motion animation things. One of their biggest ones was Coraline. They did Paranorman, and I believe Box Trolls. And one that I've actually been watching recently is Kubo and the Two Strings. I love that movie. It's great. Laika Studios announces new series exploring props, costumes, and sets from iconic films. Laika, the animation studio behind... Sorry, this is from Variety, by the way. This was written by Jazz Tangke. That's an awesome name. Tangke. Laika, the animation studio behind Paranorman and Coraline, has announced a 6-part series exploring the costumes, props, and sets from its iconic films. Titled Laika Archives, the series will be released on September 13th via the company's YouTube channel and features artisan-like costume designer Deb Cook, head of model making Keith McQueen, and writer-director Chris Butler. Says Butler, "There's something truly magical about walking into a room and seeing a table full of gorgeous sculptures, gorgeous artwork that's all been created by very talented people." David Burke, Laika Chief Marketing Officer and SVP of Operation Ads, Laika creates movies that matter. It takes a community of talented artists, artisans, and technologists to make a Laika film. Because they are crafted in stop-motion animation medium, the studio has many physical assets from each film. The puppet sets, props, and materials are created in-house at the studio's headquarters in Portland, Oregon, and the series is designed as a gift to the many fans of the films. Burke says it's a real peek inside the creative artistry of Laika. Next step for the studio is Wildwood, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. There was an announcement and a couple of what was it? Some concept art. Next up for the studio is Wildwood, which stars voice cast including Carey Mulligan, Mahershala Ali, Peyton Elizabeth Lee, Jacob Tremblay, Awkwafina, Angela Bassett, Jake Johnson, Charlie Day, Amanda Stenberg, Jermaine Clement, Maya Erskine, Tantu Cardinal, Tom Waits, and Richard E. Grant. Travis Knight is directing. The film is based on a series of novels by Colin Malloy, lead singer of the Decemberists, and illustrator Carson Ellis. Butler is the film's screenwriter. Wildwood is set to be released in 2023. It's almost like 10K from the greatest zombie TV show ever. What was that in reference to? Sorry, I was just going there. Anyways, so I'm a fan of Laika Studios for a couple of reasons, and one of the big reasons is when you do art and you're making art, you're a creative person. The writer's name in the TV show Z Nation. Oh, okay, gotcha. When you are making art and you're trying to be creative, the last thing you think about is the business side of things. Really, it takes time to learn that, and to be a successful artist, you have to understand the business side of things. And one thing that scares me about doing directing is the business side, the financing, the fact that in Hollywood there's hundreds of millions of dollars tossed around. It's a little intimidating, but something that I think is cool with Laika, and not to say that they don't understand the business side of things, that's not what I'm saying here, but Laika Studios is run by Travis Knight, who is directing. And Travis Knight is the son of, Phil Knight is his name? The guy who owns Nike, which is based out of Portland, Oregon. And so I really appreciate Laika as a film company because I think they've done well in general. But even if they didn't, if they made just under, in the Hollywood system, you make a movie, and if it doesn't quite reach expectations or financial gains, then they basically remove it from they're not going to really bother with sequels or those things. It's really dependent, but general rule is if it doesn't perform well, it doesn't get more. Kind of standard. Not that Laika has done terrible. I actually haven't looked up numbers or anything, so I don't know what all of their movies have done box office wise. But Travis Knight basically self-funds a lot of his movies. Not all of them. I'm not saying he pays for all of it, but when you are somebody like Travis Knight, and you have resources, like a lot of resources already, you make your films because you love them and because you have a passion for whatever it is your art form is. And that's one thing I've always respected about Laika is they're not necessarily beholden to the Hollywood system. I would love to see a whole bunch of Laika movies over the course of, I just like more Laika movies, but they come out every few years. Stop motion takes a really long time. I've done a little bit of stop motion myself. It's a really fun format, but it's also really time consuming, and there's extensive work to be done. on all levels of stop motion. It's not just like building the characters and the whatnot, and doing the, you build like a little creature or whatever, and then you move them just slightly, and then you take a picture, and then you do it again just slightly and take a picture. Well, I mean, the other part of that I oh man, when I was doing my stop motion, I did not know that you needed everything correct order. I was doing things manually, and it took me forever. My stop motion does not look very good. It's an old music video I did. It's Pompeii Today. Is a music video on this channel that you can watch. Yeah, it's not very good, but it is very time consuming, and definitely needs a lot of hands on deck. And so it's always cool to see Laika, because they're not only do their movies look smooth to me, but like the animation, the design of things is beautiful. And there's also CG too for some of these movies. They might use blue or green screens in the back and fill in landscapes with digital stuff. And then they'll use it for other stuff too, but for the most part, it's stop motion. And I've always really loved stop motion. Actually, you know what? Jason is listening, and I remember when we were younger, in your side yard, there was a bunch of dirt that we were messing around with, and we had some action figures, and we built like a little like army setup. We didn't do a stop motion, but like I remember starting to think about these things when we were doing this. But we had a bunch of like action figures, and then some little black cats that we were like blowing up and like making this whole like battlefield. I don't know if you remember this, but we were, I don't know, maybe 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that. Probably 6th grade, I would assume. And I don't think we were older than that. Yeah. And then you started thinking about how to tear rocket motors apart and make small explosives. Sorry. No. It's all good. That was, I totally remember that. I think, and I don't know if I was, intelligent enough to, if I was intelligent enough to comprehend what I was thinking. But I know you were like trying to engineer things and make things explode, and I was trying to figure out in my head like how to make a cool story of like, okay, so this army's fighting this army, and then they're gonna blow up and all this stuff. Oh no, don't worry, I'm not worried about being demonetized. I'm not even monetized yet. I have to jump through some hoops to be able to do that. I think before you can monetize, you just get claimed, and I'm not worried about getting claimed for anything. And I've got some figured out a little bit of a way around some stuff. I was trying to show trailers, and then I had trouble with that. Well, I have some footage we'll watch in the second half of today, because I have some video game stuff going on, and I was able to download the trailers and edit the trailers myself, and then load them in to Streamlabs instead of doing a screen capture from YouTube, because it was making me log in through Streamlabs even though I was already logged. It was a whole thing. So yeah, I'm not worried about demonetized yet. Don't worry about it. All good, my dude. But yeah, so Laika's got this new show coming out, and I'm interested in that because I like the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, but Logan keeps getting hit for his video games because the audio during the load screens. Yeah. I cut the audio from all my stuff. When I first started doing Dino News, I got I talked over even though I talked over a trailer, I still had the audio at like a low volume. And I got claimed for one of those. I ended up taking it down because whatever. But yeah, I stopped putting audio in when I show videos. I think the first time I did it on here, I thought I'd turn the audio down and it was like blasting, and then my friend Ryan was like, "Yo, dude, I can hear that at full volume, my guy." So I mean, it's it's the YouTube battle. It's the algorithm battle. This is really the beginning of Skynet. Like, what is really gonna start the war of the AI versus humans? It's the YouTube algorithm bots. They're coming for us. They're coming for they're coming for our money, then they're coming for our lives. Where's John Connor when you need him? All right, let's see. This other thing that I wanted to talk about before commercial break. I guess this is out. I didn't realize this was out already, and there's some reviews for it that look really good. So this one is called, I think this is in Netflix, and I kept this in the same segment because it's also stop motion. It's called Wendell Wild. I have the review up, and I don't really want to read the review on air because I want to watch it first. And I don't know. I think we should all watch it. Let me pull up a synopsis real quick. I didn't have this page up, but I should have. All right. Okay, here's the wiki for it. Wendell Wild is a 2022 animated stop-motion horror comedy film directed by Henry Selick. I always say Selick. I think it's Selick. Henry Selick is, if you're not familiar, you probably are and don't realize it. So a lot of people attribute The Nightmare Before Christmas to Tim Burton, but Tim Burton, I think, only produced that movie, and Henry Selick, keep doing that, was the actual director. He actually did Coraline. He's worked with Laika Animation. I really like his filmmaking, and he did one of my favorite films, Monkey Bone. It's a Brendan Fraser movie from the, I think, late 90s or early 2000s. The stat cast of all kinds of people, like Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live, Whoopi Goldberg, Bridget Fonda, bunch of like comedy people. And Giancarlo Esposito is actually in that movie. Anyways, Henry Selick directed this with a screenplay by him and Jordan Peele. So Henry Selick and Jordan Peele wrote this, who also served as producer, based on Selick and Clay McLeod Chapman's unfinished book of the same name. It stars Keegan-Michael Key and Peele as the titular characters, with Lyric Ross, Angela Bassett, James Hong, and Ving Rhames in supporting roles. The film marks Selick's first feature since Coraline in 2009. Okay, that's been a while. Wendell Wild had its world premiere at the 47th Toronto Film International Festival on September 11th, 2022, and is scheduled to be released in select theaters on October 21st. Okay, this is why I gotcha. I thought it was already out, but I guess it was just the Film Fest viewing. And then it'll be released on October 28th on Netflix. And it has received positive reviews. The premise: two scheming demon brothers, Wendell and Wild, who are voiced by Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, enlist the aid of 13-year-old Cat Elliott, voiced by Lyric Ross, to summon them to the land of the living. Yeah, this looks great. This looks really good. Let's see, critical response. It currently, it does. I have the Rotten Tomato open. There's no audience score, obviously. It is not out, but the critic score currently is at 100, which is great. So I can't wait to see this. Like I was talking about before, I like stop motion. I like the Laika stuff quite a bit. You know what? I just realized I spent all, was it last weekend or the weekend before, making these opening graphics, and I just keep forgetting to use them. We were supposed to do this. Anyways, we're there now. Oh man, I need to refine the production of this show. Chase Hutchinson of Collider gave a positive review, saying, "When it all comes together, Wendell and Wild ends up feeling liberating both artistically and thematically, with top work from all involved. Sarah B. Milner from Film also gave a positive review, writing the move over the Nightmare Before Christmas. There's a new stop motion horror flick in town. Michael Reitschaffen from the Hollywood Reporter further praises the film of being fresh, highly original concoction of playful grand guignol proportions. What is that? Oh, okay, gotcha. It's a reference to an old French film. Someone from The Guardian wrote, "The more characters Selleck has to work with, the more room there is for his deliciously strange and comic visual craft." In a positive review for RogerEbert.com, Brian Tellerco wrote, "There's no denying that this is a world that animation fans will just want to explore, to live in, to savor. It's been far too long since we got a window in Henry Selick's brain, and it's still an amazing view." Just a lukewarm. It's entertaining, if a bit overstuffed. Romp through hell and back with memorable characters and amusingly macabre hijinks. Someone from Vanity Fair says the film is slightly too convoluted with some world building changed, but it twists and turns to a place of genuine emotion and a rousing call to the takedown of ghouls of the real world rather than the demons of the underworld. You know, that sounds like a mostly positive review to me. I don't know. It depends on how you like to take your storytelling, you know? So I don't know. I'm excited for this. I think this will be fun, and I'm not, promoting any one company over another, but Netflix, I think, really does need some real wins that, aren't just Stranger Things right now. And there's people that go back every holiday season to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, and maybe this could be Netflix version of that, something they get people to come back to every year to rewatch, like a Hocus Pocus. Let's see, what else is there? Is that it for the first segment? Yeah, that's it for the first segment. Let's do a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the big news. There's some big news regarding what's on my shirt. Legend of Zelda. We'll talk about it in just a second.
You still got pets? They still trying to get married? We got hamsters or something? Well, whatever you got, consider having a big day at Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities. We've got chairs and grass. Look at this log.
And this nervous guy.
We remodeled recently, so it's like a brand new magical paradise next to the same dumpster that you're used to off exit 7. Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities. Only the best for your pets. I'm Richard from Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities. And I give these stickers away at every pet wedding. The kids love them too. This bag from, what's his name? Wild Dinosaur? Weren't they all wild? What an oxymoron. Anyways, I like to put my special things in this bag. Plus, I'm pretty sure this is my spirit animal.
Life gave me lemons, so I sold them for this sweet baseball tee. All right, we're back. We are back. And you know why? You know why we're back? Because there was some big news that I didn't know. So, cards on the table. Not that I like video games. There are some great video games out there, but I don't follow video game news as closely as I follow film and TV news. And the stuff that we've heard mostly, in regards to video game news. Oh, wait. I'm not going to forget this time. Let's go. Sorry, sweaty pits. The news that you've heard me talk about in the past regarding video game stuff has usually been, well, at least the ones I can think of off the top of my head, like Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima, two of my favorite games currently, are getting movie or TV adaptations of them. So that's where you hear me talking about some of that news. But today I woke up and I had noticed there was a Nintendo Direct that happened. And if you're not familiar with Nintendo Direct, they happen every once in a while. Nintendo does them whenever they have a bunch of stuff to talk about or release. And there was a bunch of stuff. There's like, I don't know, games that I don't play, like Bayonetta, I think there's a new Bayonetta, and Splatoon. Is that what it's called? Splatoon, I think. And then they talked about, there's more DLC courses coming for Mario Kart 8, which instead of making a new game, they just made DLCs that come out for the next 2 years for it. Mario Kart 8 is really fun. I haven't liked a Mario Kart game since Super Nintendo. That's the best one. If you say 64, you need to go reevaluate your life. Those courses sucked. Those are fighting words. I'm just kidding. We're all a big happy family. You guys need a hug? Let's hug it out. So anyways, well then you need to come over for one of our retro nights. Let's go. I'm down. Let me know when you're doing one again. Let's go. Do you guys play the Super Nintendo versions of things? I guess I should say just like Mario Kart. Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct today, and I didn't put a graphic in here for this, but they did announce, this was kind of big news because it's been talked about for a while. Yo, what's up, Derp? Talking about some gaming news right now that happened today that I didn't know. Yeah, we do Super NES, but we've been doing the Wii version of Mario Kart only because it allows all four of us to play. Oh yeah. I think I remember playing some of the Wii courses, and they were better than the 64. I just never liked the 64 Mario Kart. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about right now. Nothing else matters because GoldenEye is coming out. Quick update. This is from IGN. At 9 a.m., the Xbox remastered of GoldenEye 007 will not include online multiplayer, which will instead be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version of the game. As revealed by 007.com, the two versions of GoldenEye, despite being announced at the same time, will not include the same features. Nintendo version appears to be staying relatively similar to the original, but with the addition of online multiplayer, and will be added to a standard N64 game to the Switch online library. Xbox version, on the other hand, will be a remastered version of the 1997 original with updated controls, meaning modern dual analog stick support and improved graphics and frame rate. Was there a... Oh, okay, so this is what I was looking for, is a release date. It's unclear exactly when GoldenEye will release, however, as the handful of new 64 games confirmed for the platform are arriving as late as 2023, so relatively soon. And I think that's big news because there was rights issues, I believe. Derpy, well, it looks like I'm getting a Switch. Well, they're relatively cheap. I mean, compared to other systems. I mean, what is it, like $200 for a Switch? I think there's a Switch Lite, $300 for the console. You know, I'm not gonna lie. That was the first system I had in a while. Was well, I had a Wii U and then switched over to the Switch. And I like the Switch a lot. I've always been more of a Nintendo person in general, but you know, we're in a new age, and I have a PlayStation 5 now, so been playing at some of that stuff. What goes best with GoldenEye? Tater tots and if this is kid friendly, tater tots and ranch or ketchup. If this is not kid friendly, like a bunch of weed. What else goes good with GoldenEye and tater tots? Oh yeah, I guess some beers if you're drinking beers. I really stopped drinking about a year or two ago. I've had a couple of beers since then, but just not drinking much these days. But I'll eat the shit out of some tater tots. Yeah, definitely weed. For sure. Just so many memories of like high school, like you and me getting a gram of weed and it lasting like 3 days, and us just like playing video games all weekend. So yeah, GoldenEye is getting a re-release, and there was rights issues with that. Like, I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of how it worked, but I think it was like the Broccoli family who, I think, or the I don't remember. Sorry, I don't want to confuse details, but there was something about the rights issues of not being able to re-release GoldenEye, but apparently we figured that out. So for me, I was excited about GoldenEye, but the biggest thing, let's go. They dropped this. You wanna see some video? Let's see some video. Yeah, like I said, I pulled the audio out on this, so hopefully things aren't getting too screwed up here. But this was a trailer they put out today. I guess it's more of a teaser trailer, even though we've kind of gotten a trailer before. 1 or 2 trailers, I can't remember. But this is the sequel to Breath of the Wild, that came out in 2017, I think. Yeah, I think it was like the beginning of the year, 2017, maybe. And I have played Breath of the Wild probably 7 times all the way through, and am really excited about this. Breath of the Wild is still probably my favorite game, even over the PlayStation titles that I've played that look great and feel great and whatnot. But I've just been a fan of Zelda since I was a kid. I first beat the Game Boy Link's Awakening when I was younger on Game Boy, and here we finally get a title, and that is Tears of the Kingdom, which is an interesting title. I'm not sure where it's really going, but then they also gave us a release date, which is May 12th, 2023. So it's a little bit away still, but not terribly far away. There's not a lot of not a ton of gameplay in that trailer, but we'll probably be getting at least one more trailer at some point. You just wish Zelda would come out on PC. Yeah, I mean, it is a Nintendo exclusive, but I don't know. Yeah, the Switch Lite is cool, I guess, if you are usually on the go or have kids that you need to keep preoccupied. But as far as I know, they don't like plug into the TV, so you have to get the console version of the Switch, which is like $100 more, which is still cheaper than the other systems. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you should just go buy it because whatever, but Nintendo does make things relatively affordable comparative to like the other consoles. PlayStation 5 was like $500 or $600. It was like double the price of the Switch, and I mean you don't get the same graphics, and I think I don't remember all the specs, but like you definitely aren't streaming anything in 4K off a Switch. But honestly, they don't really need it too much. Yeah, I totally get it. It's a lot for one title that you're interested in. Maybe I'll pick up another Switch and then pass mine along. Yeah, there was a thought because they did release the OLED model, and I was kind of thinking about that at one point because they're like larger screen, and then I was like, oh, this is not really anything, whatever. But we're about more than halfway through the lifespan of the Switch. I think they want another like 4 or 5 years out of the Switch before they start developing a new console, from what I understand. So I'm super pumped. I'm super duper pumped on I want to call it Breath of the Wild 2, but it's Tears of the Kingdom, which again I'm wondering if one of the two main characters kicks the bucket, either Link or Zelda. If it's Tears of the Kingdom, why would the kingdom be sad, especially after the end of Breath of the Wild, right? Man, that game is so good. That game's so good. This gives me enough time to finish like one or two other games on the PlayStation and then play Breath of the Wild another playthrough before the new one comes out. All right, so that was big news. Really excited about that one. New game mechanics look interesting. I'm curious to see, how things are gonna work out. With Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th, 2023. And also GoldenEye. I like GoldenEye. I'm not super pumped about GoldenEye. I am. Don't get me wrong. It's just been, I haven't played it since I was a kid, I haven't like gone back and bought like older 64s or anything like that to play it. So it literally has been since it was out and popular initially, so that I played it. So I'm a little worried because I'm finding I've purchased when I was playing Switch more like a year or two ago, I bought some remasters of some games, and I don't know. I'm having a hard time going backwards with video games, even if the games are good. Like Knights of the Old Republic is out finally, remastered version for Switch, and as much as I want to play it or like am interested in the story of it, I just don't know that I want to go backwards when I have like Ghost of Tsushima sitting over there. Man, that game is beautiful. All right. Well, we know why you're here. It's this. Horizon Forbidden West. I just finished it 2 mornings ago, I guess. And this is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, which I didn't play that one, but the story is that this takes place thousands of years in the future from now. And if you can tell in this graphic that I have up here, the landscape in the background is like post-apocalyptic San Francisco. The the world's changed, the cities have sunken, and there was just humanity was almost wiped out basically. Humans that have survived have moved forward. It's kind of Mad Max-ish, kind of, but like not really. There are machines that have kind of taken over, and you got to fight machines, and there's a big storyline with the ancestors, as they call them. I don't want to spoil too much of the story. If you are interested in playing either one of them, either one of the two games, Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, I don't want to spoil too much, but I guess I will. I won't spoil the ending of this game, but the things that happen in this game, come from the game before it. So the main character is this redheaded girl, Aloy, and she is the savior of humanity, basically. This is a spoiler for the first game, but she turns out is a clone of one of the ancestors, who is named Elizabeth Sobek, who was one of the creators of, I think it's called Zero Dawn from the first game. She's super badass. She's super smart, and has just like better abilities than the normal people in the area. But she also has to deal with taking out machines and other, various clans that she runs into when she's running around. There's a ton of side missions that are pretty fun. Somebody is either lost somebody, or they need a part or something, and you have to go help them get their part, which oftentimes means you have to defend yourself against a bunch of like dinosaur machines or whatever. So you level up your character throughout the game. Opening up map points is fun. It's as you go, when they show the whole map, like a lot of games do, it's like clouds over it, and then once you walk through, it kind of opens the map up a little bit. But then they have, like, if you've played Breath of the Wild, they have towers that you open up your map. Like, you climb up the tower and you activate it, and then it opens up a region in your map. And there's similar things that happen in this game. They're called tall necks, and they're like giant walking robots with like flying saucer. They look like giant giraffes, but with like flying saucer heads. You have to climb up them and activate them and stuff. Those were always really fun. And then there are some other side quests called Vista Point locations. So you will find what looks like a telephone pole, and you have what they call a focus. It looks like a Bluetooth, but when you activate it, you can see things. You use it a lot in the game, like a lot. It's like your number one tool, basically. If you're hunting for something, you can use it to locate tracks. If you're looking for just materials or parts, you can activate it to like see, if you just like destroyed a bunch of people or dinosaurs or machines in like a battlefield, you can use it to see like, oh, what parts you haven't picked up yet. Anyways, you use the focus to get a picture of what an area would have looked like 1,000 years ago when the ancestors were. By the ancestors, this is people that like are being born today and responsible for like what happens in the future, like the ending of civilization, more or less. So yeah, you find this picture, and then you have to find a lookout spot which would match up with where that picture. I liked those. It was really fun. And it's like let's see, there was the San Francisco one is called the Isle of Spires, and you have to climb up a big actually it's landmark in San Francisco. You have to climb up and find the right spot and hold up your focus, and then it's like, oh, there's the picture, and then those are really fun side missions, things like that. The main would you call them dungeons, I guess, are called cauldrons, and you use the cauldrons to find data that you can upload, and this is cool. It gives you an incentive to go through the cauldrons, and it's not a function I used very much because of my playing style of just like run into a situation and die like 6 times until you figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. The cauldrons, once you defeat once you get through the cauldron, and there's usually a big bad, usually a machine of some sort that's kind of scary looking. Once you get through that, then you upload the schematics of those machines. And so when you see those machines out in the wild, instead of having to destroy them, you can override them and like ride them around, basically, which is really cool because if you look back at this graphic up here, right above Aloy, right there in the middle, there's this mechanical looking like pterodactyl. And that's something you get to do in the game, is you get to learn to override them and then ride those around. It doesn't come till way later in the game, but yeah, it's great. This was a really good open world game for me, especially coming off of Ghost of Tsushima, because they're very similar in that sense of like, you're this person, you got to go around and like save people and do all these side missions while you're trying to finish the main storyline. Damn, I know this is super itchy. Yes. What was I saying? Yeah, you know what? The things that annoyed me about the game, was really some of the gameplay mechanics. So like I was talking about, you use your focus to see things. I ran into maybe some of these issues in a more primitive form when I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which that game I love. That game is great. Sometimes like you're up on a ledge or something, and you are supposed to jump onto another ledge, and you jump to do it, and then he just like jumps like he would normally would. Instead of going to the point he's supposed to go, you just like fall, and then your whole sneaking point is moot because you just, instead of jumping to the perch you're supposed to go, your controls just jumped in front of the bad guy, and all of a sudden they see you and you can't sneak anymore, and then all the guards come and kill you, and then you have to start over again type thing. Not that you had to start over so much with Horizon, but I did find a lot of frustration with like climbing mechanics. So like I was saying, you use your focus to see. So if you're in an area where there's like mountains around you, sometimes you can't climb anything. But if you turn your focus on, you can see there'll be pathways that you could climb up a wall, right? And so it'd be like yellow lines going like this to get up there. And then once you get to a certain point, maybe it veers off and you can go like in 2 directions or whatever. I would be in the middle of like fighting an enemy or something like that, and then I would jump to like try to like get away from like an explosion or getting hit by something, and the controls would just like latch on to like, oh, she's gonna climb now, and I'd be like, no, and then I would try to like get down, and then she would just start climbing up and then back down and then like doing weird things, and I'm like, what the are you doing? Like, I'm trying to just run to the right. And I found myself in that kind of position a lot. Now, I'm not saying you guys will. If you play the game, I don't think it's like the game is bad in that sense, but it was frustrating at times. And I think one of the biggest things that was irritating was in some of the cauldrons, there'll be parts where you have to climb up something and then you have to jump to another thing. And there would be these segments. I found myself like screaming into pillows during this, but there would be like a bunch of things to climb up, but you only had so much time to climb them, or else they're like grates, you know, so they'd be out, and then after a while they'd turn down so you couldn't climb them, and then they'd come back up, and then you could grab them and climb up, and then you have to jump. I found it should be an easy thing to do, right? Just climb up and then jump to the left. I found myself on many occasions not being able to climb up in time, because like I would basically, your control, which direction you're going, tells the character which way to go, obviously. So I'd be pressing up and she'd be going like left or right, and I'm like, no, jump to the next one, just go, like what the hell. And then it would like go down and I would fall, and I'd have to climb up to the spot where I could jump on it again, and I'd have to wait for them to come up, and it just became a big pain in the butt. And on one of those they put like once you got to the top, this next spot you had to go was to your left, but you have to jump out and over, and like it took me so many like tries just to jump to a ledge, and there were times when I would just be like, all right, if I don't do it this time, I'm just gonna not play. And it's like I just prepared myself to go fight monsters, but I was defeated by a ledge. So those were some of the gameplay mechanics that got frustrating to me, and I'm sure there's other kinds of things that other people have run into, but ultimately the game is really fun. Once you start getting your approach down, it becomes a lot more fun. And it is kind of interesting too. Like they really designed not just the premise for the game, but like they really designed how the world ends too. Part of one of the side quests that you go on through the game is you're collecting black boxes from airplanes that had crashed like 1,000 years ago, and surprise, they still work. It's surprisingly a lot of the technology that was built within the next 50 years from when we live now still works in like post-apocalyptic future, like 1,000 years from now. But I really, really liked Horizon West. It's a beautiful game. But I do, let's see, if I had to make a list right now of my favorite games, just in video games, open world video games, I would probably say Breath of the Wild, Ghost of Tsushima, and then it's either Black Flag or Horizon. I'm still unsure, but I do recommend Horizon if you get a chance to play it. I think it's on PC. No. I don't think it's out on PC. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive. It has a 93% like ratio, according to Google. So, yeah, I think it's a really fantastic world, and I hope they make more of these. Actually, I would really like to see a like a trilogy at least. Pretty much refuse to buy any more non-open source consoles. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, all they want is to just take your money. You know, you spend anywhere between $300 and $600 on a console, and then you have to buy, you know, all the A+ titles are like $50-$60, and then DLC stuff, and it can get really, really annoying. Although there is one game that is coming out soonish. Oh, I can't even remember the name of it. It's a pirate game that was based on Black Flag by the same company that does Assassin's Creed. What's the name of it? I can't remember. It's supposed to be an open world pirate game where you just go around and be a pirate. Like, they take some of the really cool elements from Black Flag, but they didn't do any story modes. Like, they've only announced this as an online only game, and that actually really pisses me off, because I'm like, look, I don't have very many friends. I just want story mode. And then they decide when it's no longer good, or they'll take away features like being able to run Linux on your... Yeah, totally. Oh, man. Every time a console comes out, the other one becomes obsolete for the most part. I mean, I had a Nintendo Wii U, which is like the second version of the Wii, I think. And it still worked fine when I got rid of it, but the Nintendo Online store didn't work. Like, the stuff that I think I'd only maybe bought no, I think I was just doing like I don't remember what I had for it, but I had purchased maybe one thing through my account on the Wii U, and then I had to redo everything when I bought the Switch. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. You know, honestly, it reminds me a lot like Adobe. I do not like your business model, sir. Yeah, I give... Oh, you know what? It's time. I'm going to do a Smelly Pit rating. You ready for this? For Horizon Forbidden West, I'm giving it... I'll give it 4.5. 4.5 Smelly Pits out of 5. That is my rating. You know, I just want to sit and stare at this graphic for a second, because I'm really proud of this. It's so stupid. This is my rating system for movies, TV, video games, stuff like that. It's the Smelly Pit system. 1 out of 5 Smelly Pits. Horizon Forbidden West, 4 out of 5. And you want to know what? One last thing I'm going to throw in for good measure. Wait, that side. An extra Smelly Pit. Right there. You can see that, right? Smell that pit. All right, well, it's that time of the day. I'm going to end my show. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I spent time doing this. Like a whole 10 minutes. I had the Horizon trailer that I was going to show you gameplay of. We'll look at this real quick, because I think it's important that you guys see what it looks like. I had to down convert this a little bit, the video, but it still looks great. But I mean, you can play this game in 4K, so the video quality should be in 4K. I had to down convert to get this to play properly through Streamlabs, but it still looks good. And these machines are the kinds of machines that you basically fight throughout the whole game, and you can sneak around and whatnot. And yeah, it's beautiful landscapes. San Francisco being one of them. I think not all the landscapes are recognizable, but you go through like various parts. I think part of the game is in like the deserts, which ends up being the ruins of Las Vegas, things like that. But yeah, I did really enjoy this game. Once I got going in it, I had a lot of fun. Some of the gameplay, again, it was a little bit frustrating. And actually, this footage that you see, this was all, I think, made for this trailer. It's a render of gameplay, but that wasn't like an actual level. So yeah, that's what the game looked like. So let me know what you guys think about any of that. Well, eventually Horizon's getting a show. I talked about that a week or two ago. It's getting a series. Who is show running it? I forget. It's gonna be on Netflix. Oh, it was the guy that did Umbrella Academy. That's right. Announced 3 TV shows last month. God of War series at Amazon. Forgot about that one. A Gran Turismo show and a Horizon series coming to Netflix. These 3 projects joined. Already in production. Oh, I forgot about this. Twisted Metal. You remember that one, Jason? We used to play that shit on my brother's PlayStation back in the day. Anthony Mackie will star. Will Arnett will voice Sweet Tooth the Clown. Yes. Yeah, there's not a lot of details about any of the games, except for the Horizon show. I think is being show run by I forget the guy who does Umbrella Academy, which I'm excited for because next season's its last. Love me some Twisted Metal. Yeah. I remember that was one of the games we used to play back in the day. I remember there was the tank. Was it Warthog? And it used to just roll through Paris and just blowing stuff up. It was so much fun. I haven't played those in a while. All right. That's it. That's all I had. I just wanted to show you I could play videos. All right. Well, what was this? Oh, this is another logo. So before I go, don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. It's the best place to support this channel. You get some cool merchandise like these tote bags that I got, stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all the fun stuff, links to all my art. And then the last thing I always do, I'm not going to stop doing this anytime soon, is I have a link in the description to donate to Planned Parenthood because this is a really important thing for people to understand that healthcare is basically a wash in the United States, and reproductive rights are, for some reason, being attacked. So Planned Parenthood does so much great stuff for men and women, both. If you need condoms, you know what, you got a little itch that you're not sure about, but you're afraid to talk to your friends or family about it, go to Planned Parenthood. They'll help you out. Yeah. So anyways, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back at 6. So tomorrow is Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be on at 6 p.m. The rest of the week. So yeah, don't forget to check me out tomorrow. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 50 subscribers here. So always appreciated if you like, subscribe, tell your friends about the show. Leave a comment, let me know how you think I'm doing. I'll always trying to refine and make things a little better. But anyways, for me, I have to go deal with this 5-year-old who thinks he's a better lightsaber fighter than I am. I gotta go show him what's up. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 with another Jon Does. Later.